Did he say, call the doctor? Well, yes, I suppose he might have been, but he was perfectly fine. Stupid little human, always worrying about themselves. Just damaged one part of them and they start crying out for doctors and medics and stuff. Honestly, it's frustrating. He wasn't calling a doctor for himself, he was calling for the doctor. He wanted me to come and sort out the situation. And in a way, if he was calling for a normal doctor, it could have been for the victim, not for himself. You have a really thin view of human beings, you pudding brain. Wow. I didn't look at it that way. I'm sorry, Doctor. You have made me see the light. Humans aren't so stupid anymore. Well, at least this one anyway. I mean, he's still under suspicion of murder, and I kind of don't really like him because of that. But thanks to you, I have seen the light. I don't hate humans as much as I did a few seconds ago now because of your wise words. Thank you, Doctor. Right, I'm off to try and sort out this bloody Raven thing before it kills one of my friends. Just hope it doesn't kill someone more closer to me. Oh, I've jinxed it now, haven't I? Bloody-tastic. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome to my review of Doctor Who Series 9, Episode 10, Face the Raven, the first episode of the 3-episode finale trilogy. Although this isn't a 3-part finale story, but it's part 1 of a 3-episode, 3-story build up to the finale. So, but it's the first of a 3-episode trilogy that ends Series 9 off. So to speak. So not a 3-parter, but like the Monk trilogy next series, it's 3 episodes that sort of make a trilogy of stories, but they all sort of stand alone on their own separate stories, as opposed to like Utopia Sound of Drums Last of the Time Lords, which was an actual 3-part story. So the plot of this story is that Rigsy from Flatline, the best episode of Series 8, by the way, was called to this trap street early in one morning, and then he discovers a dead body, and he then the residents of the Trap Street, who are all aliens, by the way, this is an alien refugee camp, they accuse him of being the killer, and they start getting panicky. So the mayor of the Trap Street, who turns out to be Ashilda / me from The Girl Who Died and The Woman Who Lived from earlier this series, has him sentenced to death with a chronon clock, which means that this Raven is going to come and kill him. However, he's given some time to say goodbye to his family, but when he does leave, he loses his memories due to retcon, which in Torchwood is a drug that is used to wipe people's memories. And they seem to have something like that here, that retcons the brain and is able to erase his memories. So he doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know where he got this tattoo, and she's counting down to when the Raven comes to kill him. He then calls Clara because he knows that if anything mysterious happened, he should call Clara and the Doctor following the events of Flatline last series. So the Doctor and Clara go and see Rigsby, and they try to find where trying to find out where he got the tattoo that's counting down, and eventually find the Trap Street, where Me is the mayor of, and they eventually start to figure the pieces of this what happened out. And it turns out Ashilda has made a deal with these as yet unknown creatures. And before you put it in the comments, stop now, stop it. No spoilers. You can say it in the next episode review or the review of the episode after, but not this one, because in the episode itself we don't know who's Ashilda has been talking to yet. So don't spoil it. Even if this review is coming out 5 and a bit years after the story's broadcast, and we're looking at it on reflection. Do not spoil it until, at the very least, the end of your comment for the next review. Don't say it, or the comment of the review afterwards. Don't spoil it in this review. Thank you. Right, so Ashield has been talking to people who we don't know the identities of yet. We'll find out by the end of the next episode, although it is honestly a bit predictable. It is a bit predictable who they are, but we'll find out next episode, at the very end of the next episode. And she's made a deal with them in order to get. They want the Doctor, so in order for them to get the Doctor, they've promised not to expose her street, and she can keep hold of the TARDIS key, which allows her street to be safe. So that's basically her. So her plan is to create a mystery, have this alien seemingly attacked and supposedly killed, although she's not really dead. And she's framed one of the Doctor's friends, Rigsby, a human, and making it look like he did it, and putting the chronon clock on him so that the other aliens start to not panic, and then they develop a hatred of him. That's part of the mystery. So Rigsby would then get the Doctor to come to Trap Street, and eventually work out the mystery before finding himself in the trap. However, what me, as we will call her, let's call her Mare Me, to distinguish her from A Woman Who Lives, because it's another personality this time around for the character. So one thing Mare Me didn't realise is that Clara would be stupid enough to ask Rigsby to transfer the chronon clock onto her, so she would be the one who would be marked for death, and then get me to remove it after she overhears that it's possible for someone who's marked for death to pass on to someone else if that person is willing or wanting to take it from the other person. However, you cannot escape death, so the person who then takes it from somebody else, unless it's the person who gives it in the first place, then that second person is going to be killed in the first person's place, and there's nothing the original censor can do about it. So if Rigsby had kept his chronon clock, Ashield and me would have removed it, no problem. But now Clara's got it, and well, it's game over for her. She's gone. That's it. Clara is dead. A moment, please, for the loss of a fallen companion. Yay! Okay, as I've said a couple of times throughout these reviews of this series, I don't hate Clara, at least not. I don't even dislike her, but a lot of fans hate her. So that yay was for you guys. Happy? Good. If not, well, I don't know how to please you. Apart from not talking about Clara, but you're going to have to wait until Husbands of River Song for that. And even then, there'll still be one more review after that, which will have a mention of her, probably. In the Capaldi year, at least, we'll stop talking about her by the Whittaker era unless it's in a passing mention. Okay, so yeah, Clara dies, and it's actually a pretty dramatic death. Although I don't like I like how we get different angles of her death, but when we cut to her opening her mouth and screaming, we keep cutting back in time to the different angles cut to when she starts screaming as opposed to whilst she's screaming. So I think that kind of undermines a little bit of the scene itself, at least in an execution point. It's still a tragic and brilliantly handled scene, an emotional scene, but I think when she screams, we should, and when we cut to the other angles of her scream, we shouldn't keep cutting back to when she starts screaming. Thankfully, we only get a few angles of the Raven going into her, so that doesn't really damage the execution of that. I also love how pissed Peter Capaldi's Doctor is in these scenes. He's really angry about what's happened. It's technically Clara's fault, but if me hadn't put a death sentence on Rigsby in the first place, then Clara wouldn't have made that stupid decision so that she wouldn't be dead. So I love how the Doctor kind of threatens Ashield and then warns her that although he's not going to do anything with her at the moment, she'll find it's a very small universe when he's angry. And he's going to be confronting her, the people she's in talks with, because now he's just lost his best friend. or at least his current best friend, he's gonna be really angry with the people Ashilda's with because they tried to trap him, and through that actions they've inadvertently caused the death of his bestie. Ooh. But until then, we've still got some stuff to talk about with this episode. Right, some positives. I love the angle of a trap street, a hidden street in London, on the maps where cartographers on maps would do some deliberate mistakes in order to prevent plagiarism and copyright and having people copy their maps by putting something that's either wrong or non-existent on the map, such as these trap streets. There's a really good episode of a YouTube documentary series called Map Men about it, about mistakes on maps. It's really good. I'll try and link it in down below if I remember. It's by Jay Foreman and Mark Cooper Jones. I'm on Jay Foreman's channel, and it's one of a couple of series of videos he does there, alongside a fantastic documentary series called Unfinished London, and a great sort of documentary fact video about politics. I highly recommend checking those. He also does some great music, original music, including the Every Tube Station song. That is a must listen for all those who love the London Underground. These are the most interesting bits of the episode, with the mystery and where did Rigsby get his tattoo, and looking for the trap streets and flying over London. Some really great stuff here in the investigating bits. This is the first 13 to 14 minutes of the episode, and it's honestly my favourite stuff. It's once we get into the trap street itself, then the episode changes gear. Now, I really do like the idea of investigating an alien refugee camp on the trap street, and the mystery is still pretty good. I'm not so keen on seeing the guy being killed by the Raven. I think me, considering why the guy did what he did, which was got him the death sentence, I think me could have let him live. Honestly, it's a sympathetic reason. He stole some medical supplies to save his wife slash girlfriend, or at least love interest, and me doesn't remove the chrono clock, even though she could if she wanted to. And I guess this is so to serve as a demonstration to both the main characters, as well as us, the audience, as well as other people in the trap street, to say, if you break the rules, this is what's going to happen to you, and also alluding to what's going to happen to Rigsby and later then Clara, when she takes his chrono clock away from him and puts it on herself. That's what's going to happen to them later. So yeah, I guess that's why it's in here, but I didn't like how me just flat out refused to not only spare the guy, but also not give him a merciful death, considering his crime was sympathetic and honestly forgivable. And yet, he dies anyway. What's even stranger is that he's a Cyberman. A Cyberman can somehow feel love. I mean, you got Cybermen in this trap street who seem to be refugees from elsewhere, but yeah, it feels odd that a Cyberman would feel love. And even if he does, then it feels odder that you would forgive or be merciful to a Cyberman if he does feel love. I mean, if he doesn't feel love, then maybe you wouldn't be merciful to a Cyberman, but this Cyberman clearly shows romantic intentions towards this other woman. They're clearly in a romantic relationship, so they obviously do have emotions, which should destroy them, really. It should kill them. Then again, Aimless Wanderings have gotten away with doing the exact same thing by not having emotions kill the Cybermen, but instead making them more emotional than the 70s and 80s Cybermen. Then again, Aimless Wanderings is a comedy series, so they can get away, and it's a fan series, so they can get away with whatever they want. So with this, it is a bit strange that the Cyberman can have emotions, but as he does have emotions, then yes, he could have had a merciful death. Better still, don't kill him. I don't really have an awful lot more to say about Face the Raven, other than we get some great sets off the trap street. It looks really good. The direction is really well handled, and it looks visually brilliant, and some great acting. But overall, I think it's just a good story. I think maybe we could have explored the idea of the flat trap street again, or a bit further. But because of the mystery and because of the whole setup with the next two episodes, then it's not really as big of a deal as maybe it could have been. But I do think it is a good story, well handled, and some good acting. But I think there could have been a bit more improvements in places. So I will be giving Face the Raven a 7 out of 10. It's good, it's alright. It's a good start to this trilogy of individual episodes that end off Series 9. But I think there could have been a bit. We could have had some improvements in here and there. I think we could have done some better stuff, and I think some bits could have been explored more. But they're kind of put out of the way because of the mystery stuff. But it does more good stuff than bad. It's a good episode. It's not one of the strongest of the series. If I was in my current ranking as it is now, before watching the last 2 episodes and the Christmas special, 2015 Christmas special, at the moment it's around bottom half of the list. Then again, Series 9 hasn't been as bad as I was expecting. Only the series opener and predicted the finale have been the only bad ones. I mean, even Sleep No More wasn't that bad. It was just, I didn't really care for it, but it wasn't too bad. There was some bits that I really liked. So yeah, Face the Raven could have had some improvements, but overall, it was good. It was good, and Sarah Dollard did a very good job with this story. Shout out to her for having a documentary written about her writing her first episode for Doctor Who, and having to, on the 6th draft, have to write in the death of Clara. So yeah, this was good. I think there could have been some improvements. Maybe some of the earlier drafts would have been a reflection of a more standard Doctor Who episode without having the connection with the next 2 episodes, and maybe that would have worked even better. But as it is, it's good. You can check out the documentary on the Complete Night series DVD and Blu-ray box sets. This is the Steelbook, obviously. So yeah, that's about it from Face the Raven. I liked it, but I think it could have been a bit better. Maybe one of those earlier drafts might have represented something along the lines of what I think would have been better, but you never know. So that's it from my review of Doctor Who Series 9, Episode 10, Face the Raven. Next time, one of the greatest individual episodes ever made. Finally, we're on to Heaven Sent. And I can't fucking wait. And then after that, we'll be on to one of the worst individual episodes of the show, Hellbent. And I'm also really looking forward to that. Not to watching it, but to ranting about it. So I'll see you guys next time for Heaven Sent, which is likely to be a massive, big love praise fest. And then after that will be Hellbent, which is likely to be a super mega ultra colossal rant. So look forward to those, and also the review of The Husbands of River Song, the 2015 Christmas special, which will probably just be a normal review. Yeah, you don't have to get excited for that one. Get excited for the super positive one next time, and the super mega colossal rant that will follow that, and then it'll be back to standard reviews. Yeah. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the Nicholas Payne YouTube channel. So Face the Raven, the plot of this episode is that Rigsy has accidentally found himself, but with the retcon thing, bit like the drug they use, but when he does leave, he has been right. So Ashilda's been talking to, as of yet, unknown that's it. That's Clara dead. Clara is dead. Yeah. So this, and even then there'll be still one more mention of her at least. And even then, there'll still be one more mention of her before the Whittaker era starts. So, yeah, cute, isn't it? But before we get to that, So yeah. Um. But making them more emotional than what you would get in the 1980s. But then again, Amos Wondering says, then wouldn't it have been a good then a merciful death would have been good, Missy. Me, not Missy. Missy's not in this one. Then if you're even going to give him a death. So I don't really. Then again, Series 9 has been as bad. But yeah, even on the. But that being said, I'm not too worried about this. But that being said, I do think this episode. Next time, finally, and I can't fucking wait. And the super bigger. Did he? Where's Chris Trexton when you need him? I'm not going to include that last bit. That was a joke. Grow some balls. Well, the men anyway. And women, whatever you have, grow that. I'm not going to include that. Honestly, get some. Honestly, humans, grow some balls. Metaphorically for the women. No, that's not going to work. And even if he isn't is guilt, and even if he is innocent, I don't know. I don't know. And even if he's innocent, no, actually, I'll lose that. But thanks to you, I have seen the light. I now sort of not dislike. I'm kidding, of course. This is stupid. This is fucking stupid. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. What the fuck was all that?